One's social class background can influence organizational life in multiple ways. So even in entering organizations, there have been resume audit studies done where they've sent out resumes which vary on social class background cues. And what they found is that having cues of an upper class background significantly advantages you for entry level as well as managerial positions. So you're more likely to get a callback for an interview if it seems like you come from an upper class background. So these cues include cues such as the types of hobbies that you engaged in. So seeming like you played rugby or lacrosse seems to advantage you over playing track or basketball, which are lower social class cues. There was a recent research study done that found that those of upper class backgrounds, because they seem more confident, are evaluated as being more competent and more highly. And as a result, they're more likely to have more favorable evaluations in comparison to their lower social class background counterparts. It's not something that you immediately observe, but which will come up over time. So a lot of companies engage in recruitment policies which tend to advantage those of upper middle class or upper class backgrounds. So engaging in network-based hiring, so basically asking your current employees to refer other employees tends to lead to homophily. So they're going to refer employees who are similar to them in class background. So doing something outside of network-based hiring can diversify your hiring pool. In addition, a lot of companies engage in interviews, which might start out as like behavioral-based interviews, but in the end, they're just trying to gauge the fit of that individual to that company or to that interviewer. And that also tends to be dangerous because it leads to advantages for those of certain class backgrounds, like upper class backgrounds, because they're able to better converse in those type of situations. Those from lower social class background have been found to be more focused on others instead of more focused on themselves. What the research suggests is that those from upper class backgrounds tend to focus more on themselves. They're more individualistic. They're better able to represent themselves. Whereas those of lower social class backgrounds tend to focus on others and they value community and teamwork. And the research here also suggests that they're more pro-social than their upper class counterparts. For companies to be more sensitive to the dynamics of social class background, what they can do is to implement formal mentorship programs as immediately when someone enters a company. So they can assign them to a formal mentor who can help them through different social situations as well as different business situations. And it'll give them access to a network that they might not have had before. So the research on CEOs from lower social class backgrounds suggests that they're more likely to take part in riskier actions within their companies. They're more likely to be entrepreneurial because they've traversed very far in life. There was a fascinating study done on the 1960s diversifying acquisitions. So at that time, these diversifying acquisitions were considered very deviant and also they were innovative, but they were outside the social norm. And what this study found was that it was those of lower social class background who are much more likely to take part in these diversifying acquisitions and kind of start them within their own industry. So it suggests that those of lower social class background may bring different ideas. They might be more deviant or innovative in their actions. There's a recent study that looks at CEOs of lower social class background, and it seems like they're more likely to engage in CSR within their organizations. And it really comes from this idea that they're more pro-social, they're more community-oriented. And the research here also shows that a CSR is one of those actions that CEOs have a lot of control over. So we would likely see those results.